Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Come on in, have a seat, relax, and enjoy. Today we're going to be looking at the LG G5 and going to be looking at whether it's worth considering when buying extremely budget phones in late 2020 and early 2021. So if you are new to the channel and you like this video, definitely hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already subscribed, consider subscribing. I do tech reviews, and put some suggestions in the comment section below and I might get to them for you guys. But today we're going to be looking at the LG G5 and going to be looking at whether it's worth getting with its software, its hardware, and just its performance in general. So this phone was released in 2016 and it's going on about 5 years now. So it is quite an old phone, and for that reason it is quite cheap. So let's look at some of the physical features of the LG G5, then we'll get into the software and gauge if it's quick enough to buy for a 2021 phone. So looking at the physical features of it, I really like the silhouette of this phone. It has nice rounded edges, very different from its predecessor, the LG G4. The LG G4 was absolutely amazingly received because it looked super quality with the leather back cover. They decided to go a different direction with the G5, making it more aluminum than leather. And as I said, I quite like the profile of it, but it does have quite negative elements. Now, one of the selling points for this phone in 2016 was the battery. This was one of the first and one of the only phones that has a battery like this. It pops out, and if you run out of battery, you could pop in a new battery, and that was one of its biggest selling points. It also had a wide-angle lens, which was another big selling point. We have a power button, but I don't like it because it sounds quite empty, quite hollow, quite brittle. If you could hear the sound of that, like there's a popping sound when you press it, and it kind of makes it feel cheap. It has a 16 megapixel rear face camera, and we have a wide-angle lens, and then a flashlight right there. We have an LG G5 logo, and this was the flagship of 2016, but after this phone kind of failed in 2016, they tried to move the flagship line more toward the V line rather than the G line. Looking at the front, as you guys could see, my display is cracked. Now, this display is supposed to be a Gorilla Glass 4 display, meaning it's supposed to be durable, but I did not find that to be the case at all. I dropped this phone 3 times, and the first time nothing really happened. Second time I cracked my screen, and the third time a chip blew out from the front face camera. So not good at all, but we did have a pretty decent front face camera before we had a piece pop off of it. It was an 8 megapixel camera and I quite liked it. Here we have the speakers for your phone calls, and then on the bottom we have some pretty nice and loud speakers for your videos and things like that. We have a USB-C, one of the first G phones to sport a USB-C, so really nice. And then we have a microphone down here. One of the things I really disliked was the headphone jack was on top, so if you were using wired headphones, it would kind of leak over, or if you were using it like this, you couldn't really hold it that well in landscape mode. I tend to have like the headphone jack on this side where it just kind of goes above my hand over here, but that's just a personal preference. And then once again, we have a microphone up there. So pretty decent looking phone. I definitely didn't dislike the look of it, but the performance, as I said, wasn't quite that great. Now, this thing had a display of 1440 by 2880 or 2880, whichever one you like to call it, and we have a 5.3 inch display. Display was pretty small, but in those days, back in 2016, it wasn't terrible, and it definitely was pretty good quality. One of the things I disliked was the battery life. This thing only has a 2800 megapixel or 2800 milliamp hour battery, meaning it's literally like the half of a recent Galaxy phone, which is close to 5,000 milliamp hours, which meant it ran out really quickly. Sometimes it wouldn't even last me through the day. And honestly, you could pop in another battery if you ran out, but how many people carry around an extra battery with them to pop in their phone when it runs out? So really didn't know where they were going with that, and a lot of people didn't like that as well. When it comes to the software, this phone has a Snapdragon 820, so it is quite old. A 5-year-old processor will not do like recent gaming for you guys at all. It'll be really slow at that, but you can still use it for watching videos, making phone calls, and just the basic stuff of using a phone. Other than that, it does sound pretty plasticky. If you knock on it, it does sound hollow because they left the inside open to slide the battery in, and I feel like that just gave it a really cheap feeling. But yeah, guys, take this as you will. I didn't like the LG G5 that much, and not that many other people did as well. That's why the flagship quality went to the V line, which is now the flagship. And the G is kind of the lower end phone. It doesn't have the best accessories. It might match the chipset and the RAM, but it doesn't have like the wide angle lenses. It doesn't have the best quality speakers, stuff like that. But do I think it's worth it to buy the LG G5 in late 2020, early 2021? That's the big question. And to be quite honest with you guys, I do not think it is. I would move over to the LG V30 if you're not trying to spend that much money at all. If you have a little bit of money to spend, but you're trying to still work within a budget, I would advise getting the LG V40. It's amazing. It will still last you several years. It's fast. It has an amazing camera, and it has a quad DAC microphone plug-in. So it has some really amazing qualities. Consider checking that out. But anyways, guys, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you like this type of content in general, hit that subscribe button as well as the post notification bell. And other than that, I will let you go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.